Real quick, this video does contain spoilers for Elden Ring, Destiny 2, and Risk of Rain 2, so if you haven't played those yet, you probably should. So this year has been one hell of a year for gaming in general, with the release of multiple incredible video games, many of which you'll see in the background right now actually. So I thought I'd take a break from my normal game development content, mostly because I've been procrastinating playing these very games. I thought I'd talk about them because we recently just hit over 50 subscribers. So this first game needs no introduction. At this point, everyone's mom, dad, grandpa, grandma, their dog has heard about Elden Ring, the game you're seeing in the background right now. If you haven't, you must have been living under a rock because this game has been all over the internet. It's taken the internet by storm, and for good reason, because this game is an absolute masterpiece. As someone who's played it for about 100 hours now, I think I hit 100 hours recording this footage. It's a phenomenal game, and massive open world filled with dungeons, bosses, filled with items, huge build variety. I've played Dark Souls 3, Bloodborne, Sekiro, so I'm very familiar with From Software's work, and this is by far the best game that they've made so far. And by far the best game so far this year. I don't know, Tiny Tina's Wonderland just came out, and I've been looking forward to that. So we'll see, but I don't think it's going to overtake Elden Ring anytime soon. As this game is just it's something you'd have to play for yourself. If you like challenging games and if you like open world games, then this is definitely a game that you should get your hands on because it is a very difficult game for sure. But the open world, I could just get lost in it for hours. I haven't felt like this about like a open world game since I first played Hollow Knight roughly, I would say like 2-3 years ago. Great game, by the way. I'm really excited for Silk Song when that comes out eventually. But I'm getting off topic. Sadly, I wasn't able to get really good footage for Elden Ring. I'm surprised my computer was even able to record it without crashing because it has had some issues with Elden Ring. I've been able to play it mostly with little issue, but it's been on like low settings with like an occasional crash here and there, which, you know, as someone who's been playing on low end PCs for pretty much my entire life, I am very accustomed to that kind of performance. But there are issues with the PC build, so if you're going to play this, I would definitely recommend getting it on a console if you're lucky enough to have a PS5 or an Xbox Series S or X or whatever they're calling it now. Definitely get it on that. And if you have a high-end PC, it'll also work fine with maybe a little bit of frame stuttering. I know, like, when you're loading into areas, huge areas, you do get a bit of frame stuttering. But definitely, so far, my favorite game of the year. I don't know what's going to top it. I mean, the other two entries came, like, close. The other two that we're going to talk about shortly came close. But I've been looking forward to this game for a long time, and it exceeded my expectations by a lot. My first playthrough took me like 70, 80 hours to complete, which is pretty crazy. So, and I was mostly breezing through a lot of the bosses because I was using the summons, which there's a little bit of a debate in the community on whether or not you should use summons. I say do whatever you want, especially if you're newer to the game. Don't worry about like dealing with people saying, "Oh, you can't use summons. You're not playing the game right." Don't let people tell you how to play the game. Phenomenal, phenomenal game. I could sing its praises all day, but we got two other games and like 10 minutes more of footage I gotta record over, so I can't sit here and talk about Elden Ring for the next 10 minutes, although I would not mind. But, yeah. I mean, I don't know what else there is to say. It's just a phenomenal game. Incredible. And you'll in the footage you're seeing me fighting one of the dragon bosses. There's a lot of those guys, a lot of flavors of dragons, which FromSoft has really improved their dragon fights throughout the years. Especially like after Dark Eater Midir and Dark Souls 3 was a great fight. Now these fights are also really fun, especially with horseback being added into the game, and horseback combat really adds a nice new flavor to the game. But now we are moving on to Destiny 2 Witch Queen, another game, or well, a DLC I should say, that I've been waiting for a long while. Ever since I started getting into Destiny 2 after Beyond Light came out, I've been waiting for this. And it is the best DLC they've come out with in a long time. I'd say it's the best actually ever. Some people like compare it to Forsaken and Taken King, but I think it's better. It shows how much Bungie has grown since Destiny 1, when it was sort of a niche game. I remember playing Destiny 1 when I was like 7 or 8 on my Xbox 360, Xbox One maybe. I don't remember what I played it on, but I was quite young at the time, just playing through the campaign, having a blast, because as a kid I used to play a lot of Halo. Halo Reach, Halo 3, Halo 4. I don't think well, actually, no, I did play Halo Combat Evolved on the school computers when they pirated it on there when I was in middle school. Those were good days. But back to Destiny 2, which you're seeing in the background right now. You're seeing the Wellspring event, which came out with the DLC, which is a pretty fun event, but it's definitely not the highlight. If I could get like campaign footage or raid footage, if I had the time to do that, that would be awesome. Speaking of the raid, I'm using all raid weapons in here. I did the raid a little while ago. Amazing raid. Absolutely phenomenal. I had a blast doing that. It was an amazing experience, along with the Legend campaign. The addition of the Legend campaign makes it so that it's actually challenging, because every campaign before has sort of just been a breeze. Like, you can do it in a few hours, and you sort of just one-shot every enemy. It's, really more about, like, I guess, story, a little bit of loot. Like in Beyond Light, where they added the Stasis subclass, in Witch Queen, that is instead Void 3.0, which I think is a great addition to the game, and I'm very excited for when they rework Solar and Stasis subclasses in the same way they reworked the Void subclass, because I've been having a lot of fun. And as you see in the background footage, I'm using full Void with the new Raid Exotic, which further enhances Void 3.0 builds. And some point in this footage, I think it's already happened, I've swapped my helmet to a better suited one for Void 3.0 builds. I know a lot of people have been having fun with those Void 3.0 builds, but the direction that Bungie is going with these DLCs and the new raid, I think is a step in the right direction. Beyond Light was pretty damn solid as a DLC. I thoroughly enjoyed it, but they've just been like steadily getting better with their DLCs. Forsaken was really good. Shadowkeep was in. We don't talk about Shadowkeep. But now we have Witch Queen, and hopefully when we get Lightfall and the Final Shape, I believe is the name, but I'm not 100% sure, we can get quality similar to Witch Queen. I'm excited for the new raids and the Witness and everything that they're gonna add soon. It's got me really hyped. Even the next seasons, like the current season quest, I've been doing a little bit of it, and so far it's pretty fun. And the new seasonal activity, even though it's a normal seasonal activity, if you've played them, you know how it be. But this one's actually pretty fun. Hopefully we don't get something like Season of the Lost again, where we're stuck in a season for a whole year, because that was a little rough. I ran out of stuff to do pretty quickly up until like Witch Queen was about to release. So that's almost it for Destiny 2. some more footage in the background of the Wellspring event, and the new. Ooh, I forgot to talk about weapon crafting. Weapon crafting, I've not messed with it a lot. I've heard it's pretty great. All I've crafted is the glaive because you need to get a lot of specific weapons, uh, use them, and then extract their deep sight resonance and their patterns in order to start like crafting. And the resources you need to craft are pretty hefty, so which is why I haven't really gone into crafting that much. But I've heard it's pretty interesting, pretty fun system, and I can't wait to start messing with it, especially with the raid weapons that you can put into the crafting system, and like pick their perks. It would be really fun. Get your god rolls for whatever raid weapons you want, which again, a very interesting concept, and I think they pulled it out pretty well. I have a couple of problems with it, like well, specifically the glaive, because it doesn't work with subsistence and grave robber, which I was really hoping for. Like every male I kill, you get a reload, which would have been awesome with the glaive since they're like hybrid melee and range. But sadly, that didn't really turn out as well as I had hoped. But that's just a small gripe. Like all of the issues I have with Witch Queen are very like small nitpicks. They're not really anything major. So if you are interested in Destiny 2, totally recommend it. If you play Destiny 2 for any more than 30 hours by now, I don't know why you don't have this yet. If you don't, you really should pick it up, especially with the new gear too, with the worm launcher. But that's going to be about it for Destiny 2. We're about to move on to our next game, which you're about to see right now. Is a game that I think has been overlooked a little bit by Elden Ring, Witch Queen, even like Dying Light 2 and Battlefield 2077, even that was a bit of a train wreck, is Risk of Rain 2's DLC, Survivors of the Void, which adds 2 new characters, a whole bunch of items, new stages, a new final boss, just a slew of new features along with a new game mode that I've been thoroughly enjoying. What you see in the background is just a little bit of footage of me trying out one of the new characters that you get from beating the final boss or getting to a certain point in the new game mode. I beat the new final boss, who was really tough, like surprisingly difficult. I had to beat him on easy mode because I just wanted to try out the character, and even then he almost killed me a few times. But just some quick background in case you haven't really played a lot of Risk of Rain 2, which I know a lot of people haven't because it's more of an indie roguelike. But it is a roguelike where you're stuck on this planet. You're going from area to area, killing enemies and using money to buy items to enhance your character. If you've ever played a roguelike like Binding of Isaac or Spelunky, you know the general formula for those games. And if you enjoy those at all, I'd recommend picking Risk of Rain 2 up, especially since it's multiplayer. You can get up to 4 people, and it's so fun when you have a whole squad together going in, and it's an experience unlike any other, I'll tell you, because it gets really chaotic as well. So if you like more like fast-paced games, this will be one for you because there's so much going on, especially as you move on. Like right now, this is the only early stage of the game I recorded. It's not going to look like much is going on, but once you get like 10, 20, 30 minutes into a run, up to an hour, it really starts to pick up. The amount of enemies that are spawning, the amount of stuff on screen, amount of items you're getting, how strong your build's becoming, it just really elevates the game to a different level, and it ramps up really quickly. So if you've played Risk of Rain 2, you have a couple of bucks to spare, the DLC is something I'd pick up because the new items, there's a whole new tier of item that replaces certain types of items, which really great addition, and all of them are really powerful too. They've recently nerfed their drop rates because they used to be a little too powerful and a little too common, because a lot of people thought like they were going to be sort of like a trade-off, something you have to consider, but most of them are just like, you see them, you take them. Like the new fungus, the weeping fungus, instead of standing still to heal, you move to heal. It's a no-brainer. The nothing really crit glasses or the teddy bears, but definitely the bands. You see them, you take them. They're good for almost any build. The variant for the wisp, you see it, you take it. The variant for the tri-tip dagger, actually really fun. The variant for Dio's best friend, the variant for the ATGs, especially if you get like some personal shield generators or the Transcendence Lunar item. Really crazy. Some of you might not even know what I'm talking about right now when it comes to all these items, but amount of variety in the game. Yeah, each run is different. You know, if you've played roguelikes at all, you'd thoroughly enjoy this. But that is just about to wrap it up. I just wanted to give my thoughts on some of the best games of the year so far. A couple other games like Tiny Tina's Wonderland just came out again, so I'm really excited. I might make a video on that if this video gets some traction and I get my hands on it, which I'm hoping to get that soon. But that's gonna be it. I'll see you guys later.